That's what I'm talking about. All right. Let's see which one of these here designs are going to work. And I think that one. Yeah, we're going to do this one because you can see it all. All right. Your channel. There we go. Mute me. Okay, we got that. All right. So you're going to need some note-taking materials because you're going to learn today, baby. You are going to learn por la hoy today. Dia. Here we go. So after you get your notes in place, Amundo, you are going to take 3 deep breaths. You're going to inhale and exhale on your own 3 times to let your mind know, hey, getting ready to contribute to my, good morning, Sabrina, getting ready to contribute to my neural pathways. So on your own, 3 deep breaths in and out. Ready, set, go. I am Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today, we are talking about Go For It. Good morning, Regina. Go for it. And I'm from Detroit. And Channel 4 News used to have a song, go for it, what you got to show if you don't try? Why don't you go for it? That came on every time the news came on. So I thought about that this morning. And I said, go for it. Wow, maybe that's where this principle of real leadership came from. Who knows? It's 2008. It was a foggy year. No, it wasn't. It was quite clear. All right. So Dr. Donna quote is, going for it means living your life with no regrets. 0, none, nil, 9 regrets, no doubts, and no fears. Okay, you might have some fears, but you're gonna do like Susan Jeffers says, feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay, the risk a day keeps the fear away. Risk a day keeps the fear away. Now, how did we get here? My mom and daddy met back in 1967. No. We got here from neurogenesis, and that's all these new neurons going ding, 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 and then they meet. They actually swipe left so they can meet each other. And they get together and they say, hey, let's connect. Baby, you down? I'm down. Hey, let's go ahead and do some neurotransmission here. You got some dopamine? I got some serotonin. Let's do this. And then they create neuroplasticity, which is neural pathways to your mind. And you get some new habits and some new skill sets and some technical competence. And you put that together and you got the theory of personal theory of personal accountability and the 74 principles of real leadership. So we is the baby. Neuropability is neurogenesis and neuroplasticity are our mama and daddy. And here we go. We're neuropability and we got a sibling. Okay. Well, neuropability is your ability to use the 74 principles of real leadership. Okay. To create unlimited neural pathways for you to hold yourself personally accountable, for you to become your best, not your worst, but your best. Okay. Let's make mama and daddy proud. And then we got an older sibling. Okay. And they watch over us, and that's working memory. All right. Now, what is working memory's responsibility? It's the brain's ability to hold and manipulate information for a temporary period of time so you can perform your cognitive tasks on a daily basis. All right. So you can learn, you can comprehend. Now, how often is Big Brother watching us? A lot. Dozens, if not hundreds of times an hour is your working memory there saying, hey, don't do that. That's stupid. Do that. Be good. Be kind. Be nice. Be helpful. Empower others. Hold people personally accountable. So that's the working memory's job. All right. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I am celebrating yet another auspicious landmark milestone. 600 days live, baby. What? Consecutive. 600 on these folks. 10 toes down on personal accountability. 600, 600 days. Hey. All right. In all seriousness, let's get to this. So, The phrase go for it typically refers to taking bold actions. Okay. You got to be bold up in this mofo. All right. Setting, season, and looking at opportunities and saying, hey, opportunity, get over here. I'm about to seize you right here, right now, like the U.S. government on the doggone drug lord's house. Blah, blah. Seize these opportunities. And you're going to be initiating behavior despite uncertainty or fear. I did not want to click that live button on November 3rd, November 4th, 2023, and I did. And 600 days later, look at me now. Brain t-shirt, brain background, neuropability. That's what you got to do, baby. You got to go for it. You got to go for it. Lead by example is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And that's what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, every single day. Follow the leader. So you got some brain regions that's involved in this go for it, because that's where we're in, the show me phase, all right? I'm showing you what part of the brain you use it. So backed by research, scientific research, these is the parts of the brains that you are using when you decide to go for it. And there are 6 of them. And what happens is you're going to combine empowerment. Y'all know they say motivation. I'm saying empowerment, decision-making, and risk-taking circuits, okay? You're going to have to take some risk if you're going to go for it, all right? That's how that goes. Now, we got 6 brain regions that we're using to go for it. Number 1 on the list is the PFC, ladies and gentlemen. That is your prefrontal cortex right there, okay? Really right there. The amygdala, they're going to be connected to each other. Today, they're going to be talking because that's what needs to happen. The amygdala don't need to send messages first. Prefrontal cortex needs to be sending messages, okay? So in your decision-making, planning, and weighing options and impulse control. So that's why the prefrontal cortex is pointing towards the amygdala, because it's controlling it. It's saying, chill out, sit down, be humble, relax, okay? We are doing this on purpose. And also the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex helps with evaluating consequences, while the ventromedial prefrontal cortex integrates emotions into and feelings for me. I know I'm going back and forth with that, but emotions into decisions. So 600 days ago, I said, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go live. And the reason why is because it's New Year in November. So I start my new year on November 1st. God, higher power of the universe said, go live. And don't stop going live until I tell you. And so we are here 600 days later. I started out on TikTok, didn't have an agenda. Originally, they were turnaround tactics. I was figuring out what time of day and all kind of things. By January 28th, I had an agenda. It was 5:30 in the morning, and we have been doing this agenda type format since then. Last October, I came out as a nerd, switched over to brain, and we have been working on the brain ever since. So that's how we got here. But I went for it, and it was ugly. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it was bad. Trolls and everything else. I was like, whoo, I know if I could do this. But now you see it running like a well-oiled machine, and you have no idea. Y'all looking at my now, but y'all don't know my then. Thank you, Tamla Man, for that quote. So first, number 1 is the prefrontal cortex, decision-making, planning, weighing the options, and the impulse control. I had to control my impulses, and sometimes I was successful, and sometimes I wasn't. I didn't know about inhibitory inhibition control. And so sometimes I popped off more than necessary. And I said some stuff that probably hurt some people's soul, but they started it. So don't start none, won't be none. But I'm better now, and I'm in much better position, and I have found the block button, because I didn't even know where the block button was. But the uncountable people made me seek, search, and find that damn block button to get rid of them. Okay, so that's the prefrontal cortex, and it's helping you with your decision-making, planning, weighing options, and impulse control. Now, number 2 is the ACC. You down with ACC? Yeah, you know me. You down with ACC? Yeah, you know me. That's your anterior cingulate cortex. Okay, say that 5 times fast. And what it does is it detects conflict, it monitors performance, and it initiates actions in the face of uncertainty. So Dr. Donna, you don't know what the hell is going to happen, but you're going to press that live button and you're going to see. That's what you got to do. So it helps push through the hesitation. So you know when you're like, I'm about to start. No, I'm not. You like getting ready. You playing double dutch and you go jump in, but you think you're gonna get hit with a rope, so you don't go. But then you switch and you go, and then you go, I'm gonna try tomorrow. And they see 6 years done pass and everybody else can double dutch and you can't, and you doing like this because you still hesitating. The ACC says, listen, okay. You need to talk to more people. You can't not be invisible. So it's time to go live. Now go live. We weighed the pros and the cons, and the pros outweigh the cons. So go ahead and press that live button. All right. Number 3, the amygdala. Here we go. And yesterday, if you weren't here, here's how I described the amygdala, which I think is a great example. So everybody wants to, all the unaccountable people are led by their amygdala. The amygdala is running the show. Look big, tiny, look how little it is. Look how big your brain is. Look how little the amygdala is. Causing all them damn problems like an ingrown toenail. Whole life hurt when you got an ingrown toenail. So the amygdala is 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is a convenience store for those of you who don't know that. It is a convenience store. We call them C-stores and Frito-Lay because of the convenience. You walk in, you grab a bag, you don't have large items there because it's just grab. They have little baskets, but they don't have grocery carts. So it's a convenience store. Now you can get some stuff from 7-Eleven. You can get laundry soap and medication and all kind of things, but it's more expensive. More expensive because you're paying that convenience fee. Now, Costco got every damn thing. Cribs, doggone furniture, clothes, Nike techs, grills, jewelry, eye care, everything, gas, all that. So you can get everything you need from Costco, right? So your brain is Costco. Your amygdala is the doggone 7-Eleven. It's convenient. So if you start making decisions in 7-Eleven, it's going to cost you more. Tide laundry soap in 7-Eleven is like $50, and it's going to be teeny. Costco is going to be about $36, and you're going to get the big old jug. So think of it in that way. Why would you spend extra money and you can't even get everything you need at 7-Eleven? Why would 7-Eleven be running your day-to-day life when Costco got everything that you need? Okay, so convenience. I need to go there when I need to grab something to eat. I'm on my way. I need some gas. I need a Slurpee, a quick coffee or something. That's what the amygdala does. It's a small thing that says this is what's happening. It's quick. The rest of the brain is Costco. So why would you let 7-Eleven run Costco? It's not going to happen. It's small. It's convenient, but then it's very, very, very much expensive. $100 at 7-Eleven ain't going nowhere. $100 at Costco going to get you a little bit more in today's dollars, but that's the whole point. So the amygdala is only convenience. It's real small. It plays a very, very small role. So let it do that and stop trying to use it for everything that you need. Okay. So the amygdala is number 3. It processes fear, excitement, and emotional salience. And so it helps override fear when taking bold action. So me going live on November 4th, 2023, my amygdala, we had a conversation and I said, okay, got it. We got to do this. And I took a bold action. I went for it. And here we are 600 days later. Now, number 4 is the nucleus accumbens. And accumbens is, you can see it right there, ACCUMBENS. And that's part of the reward system. That's part of your reward system, which is linked to the neurotransmitter dopamine. And so it generates empowerment and it anticipates the rewards. So it reinforces the desire to act. Good morning, Lola. And it is critical for just do it energy. Just do it. And so because I have so many past times with the dopamine boost, like, man, you did that. You took a risk. You went for it. All right, cool. It's time to do it again. Yeah, bet. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Let's go for it. So it's a real short conversation that I have with myself when it's time to go for it. For me, it feels very long, but we know I give myself 15 minutes to be like, this is some bullshit. Why I got to do this? And then bam, I'm off going for it, taking the risk, embracing change, accepting the challenge. So that's number 4. Number 5 is my friend, the basal ganglia. And the basal ganglia initiates movement and goal-directed behavior. Because remember, that's where all your habits resides. Where the habits resides, where the habits reside. Right there in the basal ganglia. Okay? So it's saying, all right, cool, bet. What we about to do? All right, go ahead. Let me go ahead and let you do that today. We're going to keep doing this. How long are we going to keep doing this? I don't know, but right now we have 600 days. Okay, cool, bet. Number 6, and finally, is the insula. And and why is it not on there? Okay, I didn't realize that. Okay, chat is messing with me now. All right, so the insula processes internal body signals. That's your gut feeling. And that influences risk-taking and intuitive action. So remember, the gut brain is sending 400 messages to the head brain a day. The insula plays a role in that. So you're going to listen to your gut. And so while I was going live and I was figuring it out, what I was not letting people do is, after I found out how my format was going, people couldn't get away with stuff. They took advantage initially of my noviceness in it, my neophyteness. But once I realized what was taking place, game recognized game, and it wasn't about to happen. So my gut instincts were saying, okay, this format is not working. Let me change it to this. Let me move it here. Let me go in the morning, because I was sitting on the other side of my desk. I had on regular clothes. Then I started just having on my morning pajamas and with my jacket, my comfortable clothes at home. And that format is the format that works. And as I mentioned in the beginning, here we are in a brain format, neuropathy, neuropability format. So it worked. So again, so here's the simplified brain-based process for going for it. This is the magic for you. So you have a desire, or the goal is identified, and then the nucleus accumbens fires up with empowerment. So I say, I'm going live. And the nucleus accumbens says, all right, doc, you got this. Go on with your bad self. Say it loud. I'm live and I'm proud. All right. Helps you out. Then number 2, options are evaluated. So then the prefrontal cortex come in and say, hold up, wait a minute now, just chill for a minute. We're going to weigh the risk versus the rewards. Now, what kind of risk is this? Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. No, let's give me a second. So the options are evaluated, and the PFC weighs the risk versus the rewards. It says, all right, pros and cons. Are we going live? Are we not going live? Okay, here's why. What are the benefits? Let's do this. Number 3 is that the hesitation or fear is detected. So the amygdala comes to the meeting late, because the amygdala is always running late, and it processes all of your feelings and your emotional signals. And it says, hey, hold up, wait a minute now. You know, the last time you went live in 2017, here's what took place. You sure you want to do that now? And then it goes, and you have a conversation and say, we got this, chill the hell out. We still gonna go do this. Things have changed. That was 5 years ago. It's 2023. We gonna do this. All right. Number 4, decision to act. Okay, now the ACC shows up and says it's going to resolve any internal conflict. Yeah, we went live. We had people like Madrid side over here interrupting the live. What are we going to do with the unaccountable people? How are we going to handle the trolls? I didn't even know what a troll was, but I do now. How are we going to handle those people? And so God, higher power in the universe, showed me where the block button was, which is what I'm about to use here in a moment. Okay. And then number 5 was action initiation. Okay. So the basal ganglia says, come on, let's go live. It gets all the motor cortexes engaged, and you physically take the action. So you thought about it. Everybody came together, had their little Zoom meeting. Everybody had on shirts and pajama pants at the bottom. Some people had green screens in the back. Some people didn't want to turn. Some regions of the brain didn't want to turn their screen on. So the amygdala was kind of black and said, forget it. And everybody came together and they said, yes, Dr. Donna, go live. And all that happened on November 3rd. So on November 4th of 2023, I went ahead and went live. So what questions do you have about the 6 regions of the brain that you use to go for it, and the simplified brain-based process to go for it? I know I got a lot of energy this morning. You would have thought I had some caffeine, but I did not have any caffeine. It is just me at my 15th year and 1 day past leaving Frito-Lay. So I have a renewed sense of self. Yes. So what questions do you have? Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. It is. I released a lot of stuff yesterday. 600, Mr. Hook. 600. 600. 600 days, baby. 600. Please tell me what number 1 is for the simplified brain action. Why, of course, Miss Regina. It is desire/goal identified. So what it is, desire or goal identified. So the nucleus accumbens, which is right there, fires up with empowerment. And it says, let's go live. Let's go live. Let's do this, Dr. Donna. It fires up. It's what causes you to say, I want to go for it. So if you've ever said, oh, I want to, it's the nucleus accumbens that's saying it. Because that's where the dopamine resides, inside of there. So you can get your dopaminergic. Look at me. Going. So it's just like, oh, we're going to do something I'm going to be able to get some dopamine from this. All right, bet. Let's do this. I like dopamine. One of my favorite neurotransmitters. Yes. Going to have some dopamine when this is done. Where we going? To go get some dopamine. I'll be back. Okay. So now we got the 4 brain-based benefits of going for it. There are 4 benefits. This is why you do it. So you can get some dopamine, natural dopamine on your own. You don't need nobody else. It's just you and your dopamine. Okay. Just me, myself, and dopamine. All right. Number 1, strengthens neural circuits for confidence and action. So it strengthens all of your neural circuitry. And we said that yesterday. What I got on, I just got on a brain t-shirt, but I'm oozing with confidence. You cut me open, I believe real leadership and confidence, baby, because of all the neural connections from taking risk and all this. I'm just running on dopamine, natural dopamine. So it strengthens your neural circuits for confidence and actions. And so instead of the amygdala acting like a little punk, no, I can do this, I'm so scared. The amygdala's like, you got this, dog, go. What? You can, the hell yeah, you can go live. Go ahead. I double dog dare you to go live. Next thing you know, you're 600 days in. All right, number 2, it builds resilience by reducing overactivity in fear-related regions. So now the amygdala's like, no, we did this before. I'm good. I got it. Woo, 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 go, Dr. Donna, go. You can do it. Yay, you, go you. All right. Number 3, it increases your dopamine levels, reinforcing empowerment and reward seeking. So because you go for it, dopamine says, all right, I'm going to make another investment. I see you. Okay, cool. I'm going to double down. Now let it stay. All right, let's do this again. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. And then number 4, it improves your cognition flexibility and reduces decision paralysis. Now, we know that cognitive flexibility resides in the executive function of the brain. It's one of the top 3. You got the working memory, cognitive flexibility, and inhibition control. And so it reduces your decision paralysis, because you're sitting there, you've been thinking about it for 5 years. That is decision paralysis. When you go for it, you've made the decision. I'm going to go for it. And then you sit down with the PFC and everybody comes together on the Zoom call. And then they say, all right, well, how are we going to go for it? Because you don't do anything without a strategy, nothing. You don't even go downstairs or in your home. If you live on in a ranch style home or an apartment, you don't even go to the kitchen without a strategy. Okay, so don't do anything without a strategy. That helps with your problem solving and your decision making. Plus, it strengthens your strategic neural pathways. So don't do anything without a strategy. But then once you do, you go ahead and do what you need to do. And it allows you to stop having decision paralysis. So you just stuck. You can't decide. So you just put it on the back burner. Next thing you know, it's been a fortnight and 40 years and you still ain't decided yet. Okay. A fortnight is 2 weeks. I looked it up because I used to watch Game of Thrones. But it improves your cognitive flexibility and reduces your decisions. And so to use me as the example, when I started the lives, I had, like I said, had different whole format and everything, but I have been very flexible in these 600 days because my objective is to present information to those who are willing to learn how to become personally accountable. And I started out with turnaround tactics, and turnaround tactics is still a thing. Tactics is still a thing on the website. However, now that I know it's neurological, I come out as a nerd finally. That's why you keep doing things, because you don't know what benefit is going to be to you. Because most of the time, people say, well, I can't make no money doing that, so I'm not going to do that. But you can make a difference, if nothing else, in your own doggone life. And that's a little bit more important than some dollars and some cents. But then you don't really have sense. Anyway, okay, I digress. So the point is, when you stay in go for it mode, you actually benefit. You get that dopamine, but I've gotten so many skills, so much information. I'm in my neuroscience class now, and there's so much I know that now I'm starting to identify when people are doing something neurologically. I can say, oh, they did that because they're hijacked amygdala. They did this because they were in their ACC. The prefrontal cortex told them to do this. Their working memory is not working. And so it helps me beyond all of the other information that I have. I got like this 7th superpower now because of neuropability. So it improves your cognitive flexibility and reduces decision paralysis. So again, the 4 brain benefits for going forward are: number 1, it strengthens your neural circuits for confidence and action. Number 2, it builds resilience by reducing overactivity in fear-related regions. Hey, right there. Number 3, it increases your dopamine levels, and so it reinforces empowerment and your reward seeking. And then number 4, it improves your cognitive flexibility and reduces decision paralysis. So what questions do you have about the benefits? The benefits. So you got, instead of friends with benefits, you got brains with benefits. Okay. Any preguntas del día? Any questions for the day? I have some preguntas del días on the YouTube channel. I was doing questions in Spanish for a minute. All right. I hear music in my head. Okay. Now we have the 5 brain-based activities to strengthen your ability to confidently go for it. Hold on. Regina has a question. Please hold while Regina types her question. Music will be playing. If you'd like to not hear music, please silence your phone by pressing 2. Boom, 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 boom. All right. And the answer is, I haven't watched Jeopardy in years, decades, in fact. Okay. Repeat brain benefit section for strengthening neural pathways. Yes, ma'am. Number 1, there are 4. Number 1, it strengthens neural circuits for confidence and action. Strengthens neural circuits for confidence and actions. Number 2, it builds resilience by reducing overactivity in fear-related regions, the amygdala. Number 3, it increases dopamine levels, reinforcing empowerment and reward seeking. Number 4, it improves cognitive flexibility and reduces decision paralysis. Please let me know if you have it. All right, Sabrina said driving, but this is so much information that I'm going to watch the replay to fully absorb the information. Yes, ma'am. Safe travels to your trabajo. Okay, now we are at the 5, my pleasure. The 5 brain-based activities to strengthen your ability to confidently go for it. These activities are designed to activate the empowerment, decision making, and action circuits of your brain. Okay? So, number one, dopamine. So, you're going to have a priming routine for your dopamine. Why? You may ask, Nola. Great question. Because it boosts the nucleus accumbens activity to build empowerment. That's why you're going to do it. Now, how are you going to do it? Thanks for asking, Kevin. Here's how. You're going to set small, achievable goals daily. If you do not have small, achievable goals daily, you are wrong. Okay? You have to have a goal for your day, because when you get to the end of your day, you need to evaluate your day. So if you don't have goals, how are you going to know how the day went when you get to the end and start evaluating what you did for the day? So for me, up until yesterday, my goals were to assess and make sure that I got all my social media done, I got my reading done, my stretching done, lives and things like that. I probably got a lot more goals than I should have. But anyway, so you want to set small, achievable goals daily. If your goal is to be in a 30-day challenge and you do your challenge, then that's your goal. If your goal is to read 15 minutes a day, if your goal is to exercise every day, whatever it is, have a small, achievable goal. And then the second thing that you're going to do is celebrating wins, even saying something. Celebrate your small wins. So even saying yes or fist pumping, like, yes, I did that. We left the appointment the other day and I fist bumped Nola. Well, we missed the first time because we was tired, but then the second time we got it done. And so I fist bumped Nola. And then the third thing is you're going to use music or movement or visualization to trigger reward circuits before big decisions. So before a big decision, I listen to music. I listen to Lecrae's Blessings. Blessings, blessings. Line them up, line them up, line them up. Line them up, line them up. I listen to that every morning before I go live, because I'm taking a big risk by going live. As I told Nola, I know y'all don't think so, but I am nervous. I have a little bit of every morning before I go live, because I don't know who the hell is going to be on the live. Not the regulars, but the infiltrators. So think of it this way. Imagine if we were in a classroom. Regina, you could do this because you're a retired teacher. So imagine we're in a classroom in college. So we got the auditorium style seating. And I'm talking and I'm lecturing. And then some bumbling idiot, and Nola said we should do this as a skit. Some bumbling idiot just comes in and say, "Make it 2024!" And then they leave. Or they stay and say, "Hold up." They say, "Hello, sir. So good hair," in the middle of me lecturing. People gonna be like, "The fuck is this? Who is this?" First of all, how you get on campus? How you get all the way in the building and all the way in this room, and you decided you're gonna do some dumb shit like that, right? Because that's what's happening. So that's how I feel. I'm like, I'm trying to give y'all this information, and who the hell knows who gonna show up and start cutting the fool. Hence, that's the other reason why my subscriptions are back on Instagram and TikTok, so that we can have private lives where you can't infiltrate what's actually happening. But just think about that. So I listen to my music. I'm pumping myself up. Blessing on blessing. Line them up, line them up. So then when I get here, I am prepared for whatever is going to happen. Okay, so that's the dopamine priming. You set small goals. You celebrate small wins. Fist pump, yeah, pat yourself on the back. And then you use music or movement or visualization to trigger reward circuits before you make the big decisions. Okay. Lola says, "I'm still taking risks. I'm on a boat trip with 60 and older. It consists of watching a movie, and after all you can eat, taking risks help me to have time for something else." That is great, Lola. I'm telling you, just coming out of your shell. You have just been doing great things. That you are now on a boat. You done went swimming and everything. Make sure they bring you back. Okay. Anyway, that's awesome. Enjoy yourself. And make sure you're taking pictures and video so you can have it, so you can look back on it and celebrate it. When you finish, go ahead and celebrate it. You're going to get a nice dopamine boost. Number 2 is amygdala desensitization. So that's your fear reduction. You're going to reduce your fear. Everybody always talking about losing fat. Ain't nobody talking about losing fear. Nobody ain't talking about losing fear. I'm in my fear reduction season. Nobody ain't saying that. Yeah, I'm going to slim down. Hot girl summer, sugar daddy summer, all of that. When you going to get fear reduction in your daily diet? When that's going to happen? So, amygdala desensitization. And why would you do that? Because it reduces overactive fear responses that block action. So you want to reduce the fear. Remember yesterday, a risk a day keeps the fear away. So if you keep taking risks, you take risks for 365 consecutive days, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have way less fear in 365 days. That's what the 30-day risk challenge is about. Because if you're taking a risk, you can't be afraid and take a risk at the same time. That's impossible to do. You're going to take the risk. Susan Jeffers says, feel the fear and do it anyway. So the amygdala is just going to start being calmer and calmer and calmer and get accustomed to you taking doggone risk. So how do you do that? I'm glad you asked, Lola. Number one, you want controlled exposure to low stakes risk. Okay? Low stakes risk. I live in Las Vegas, so I'm going to use gambling as an example. Now, if you're a gambler, don't do this shit because you need to go to a meeting. But if not, there are penny slot machines here in Las Vegas. There are penny slot machines in every casino. We have neighborhood casinos and hotels as well as stuff on the strip. So if you come here and you go to the strip, that's not it. Most of our movie theaters, bowling alleys, and arcades and everything are in casinos in the neighborhood. So you literally, we have 2 hotels, 3 actually, that have gaming and bowling and all of that. So every neighborhood has their neighborhood casino where they can go and do things at their neighborhood casino. So hospitality and tourism is real. And like I said, they got slot machines in 7-Eleven. Since that's why you don't need to be going there. Anyway, no, they're not in like the big stores, but they're in the grocery stores too. Albertsons, all of them. They have it. CVS, you name it. It's a slot machine there. And then they have little video poker bars all over the place too. So anyway, I digress. So they have penny machines, penny slot machines. They have $5 blackjack tables. So you would just start with a low risk. I'm going to just throw $1 in here. When Nola used to go to one place to get her haircut, they had a Arizona Charlie's. And I would go in there with $5 and win my $5 back in the slot machine and get the hell out of there. Sometimes I was more than $5 and sometimes I was right at $5. But I ain't never gambled more than $20 in 14 and a half years that I've been here. I'm not a gambler. I put some money in the machine, some food or some shit better come back out. Okay, I'm not like just giving it away. So anyway, you do something low risk, like a penny machine, $5 blackjacks, and that is your new activity. And then what happens is, and after that, you can pick something small. Additionally, you can do breath work and mindfulness. So before bold actions, calm your brain down. That's why those 3 breaths that we have every morning are for me just as much as they are for you, because I have no idea what unaccountable person may or may not show up. And so I'm calming my brain down so my amygdala cannot be hijacked. Those 3 breaths are like, put a nice little armor around me. So now I can give you the information that you came here to receive. And then number 3, here we are again, reframe fear as excitement. So instead of saying I'm nervous, say I'm excited. Because the amygdala is like, and then you say, I'm excited. It's like, oh, okay, we're excited. Yay! Excitement. Send excitement. Enact the neural pathway for excitement. We are excited. No, we're not nervous. Turn around. Come back. We are excited about this risk that we're going to take. We putting this $1 in this penny slot machine and we're going to win our $1 back. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Number 3 is decision-making drills. Decision-making drills, and it strengthens your PFC. So why would you do this? I'm glad you asked, Sabrina, because it builds frontal lobe efficiency for fast, confident choices. It's building prefrontal lobe consistent efficiency for fast, confident choices. That's what you're going to be able to do. Now, how are you going to be able to do this? Let me tell you. Number 1, you're going to practice making quick, low stakes decisions. So you're going to choose your meal, your outfit, your routes swiftly, like this. I got to get dressed. Bam. Shirt, pants, shorts, skirt, shoes, hair in my case, out the door. Don't be standing there for 30 minutes. Like, don't be trying on a bunch of outfits or none of that. Find out what the weather is. You know, African Americans, we go outside, put our finger outside, and then come back in. That lets us know everything we need to know about the temperature. It's either hot or cold. It's raining, snowing, or dry. All right. I know what I'm about to wear for the day. And then from there, you want to weigh the pros and cons. So you do a pros and cons list a lot. So you're practicing by getting quick outfits together, quick routes, and you're also looking at the pros and cons with a strict timeline to avoid overthinking. So let's say you got to make a decision about where you're going to go for dinner. You put it down. Do we want seafood or do we want Chinese food? And you do a real quick list, boom, 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 bam. And now I'm getting ready to go get the food. You say 2 minutes, we're going to decide. Are we hungry? We eat Chinese food. We're going to be hungry in 2 hours, or we're not so hungry. And do tapas. Nola hates tapas because it's not enough food, because she eats like a man that's 6'2", 212 pounds. So that wouldn't work. But you're going to weigh the pros and the cons with a strict time limits to avoid overthinking. If you're in a grocery store, this works out well because you just got to pick between Skippy and Jif. Choosy moms choose Jif. That's why they had that. And then actually, number 3, mental rehearsal of scenarios where you take decisive actions. So you're going to mentally rehearse. As I say, play the movie out. So you can do quick things like hurry up and choose a meal or outfit, change your route very quickly. You can do pros and cons. So you stick to a strict timeline to make decisions, or you mentally rehearse the actions so that you can say, how is this going to work? And I play the movie out. Number 4 is action visualization. And that's activating my homie, the basal ganglia. Action visualization. You want to activate the basal ganglia. Now, before, let me see. Lola said, I was afraid to walk away from the job and the money, and I realized that I can't miss something I never had. I still woke up. It's okay to make changes. I'm using your teachings to navigate. Thanks for your help. Appreciate it. I realized I can use my brain to do different things. Yes, ma'am, you can. And I thank you for saying all of that, Lola, because that is the objective. The objective is not to create Dr. Donna-ites. That's stupid, okay? That's number 1. Ain't no fandemonium, idolization, or false idols or hero worshiping over here. Everybody has a brain. Everybody has the ability to use their brain. We are peers over here because we are all working towards becoming personally accountable and being our best day in and day out. And that's all I want for y'all. I really want you to understand that you have everything inside of you up here in your brain, your 3-pound brain, to be able to do any and everything that you put your mind to. You got 86 billion neurons. 86 billion neurons. Talk about you can do all things, the big and the small things. You can do everything. You just need a neural pathway. That's it. You just need a neural pathway, and then you need the 74 principles of real leadership to go ahead and do that thing. Okay? I couldn't read. You go back to them 4th grade doggone MEP assessments tests. Them motherfuckers was like, yes, she can do math, but don't give her a book. Do not give her a book. I told you I was in the 5th grade going to the 3rd grade section, sitting with the 3rd graders. Ain't nothing like a big ass 5th grader sitting with some 3rd graders reading the books. Damn pictures still on it. Little heads back in the day. And they're over there reading doggone Judy Blume and shit. And I'm over there like, yeah, so Curious George, what's up, homie? What y'all doing today? Okay? No bueno. But look at me now. I'm reading neuroscience books. Hey! You can't tell me you can't create no doggone neural pathway. You can't. Look at this. Here goes this book. I got to take it back to the library. But right here, this is a whole brain textbook. Check it out. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Look at that. On my desk. I couldn't have did that 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And look at me now. Over here talking about neuroscience. I didn't take what I didn't take that I was teachable. Yes, you didn't think. Got it. And you are. Everybody is. Everything is learnable. It is. That's the whole point. Unaccountable people, because, and what I found, and I know it's a side note, I'm getting ready to get back to it, but what I found is that when people can't figure out how to teach you, and you probably can confirm this, Regina, is that when people can't figure out how to teach you, they blame you. If you are an educator, it is your responsibility to learn and understand how your students learn and teach them the best way that they can learn so they can get it. But teachers don't do that. Educators do, but teachers don't. It's like if you can't learn how they teach, then something's wrong with you. As opposed to educators go, okay, how did you learn best? Let me explain this. Stay after school. Let's do it. You can book me if you go to school online. And now you go, okay, you are a visual learner. So that's why if you're a visual learner, but if you learn by words, if you learn by me speaking, that's what I attempt to incorporate all the time so you get it. Some people need stories. Some people need analogies. And so I do all of that. So at the end of the day, you got it. And now you're sitting somewhere saying, I see. Oh, so you trying to hijack my amygdala. I know you ain't trying to hijack. What the hell? You trying to hijack? Okay. Roger that. I'm out. I'm leaving. And so these bite-sized sound bites for you, these catchphrases for you to go, that plays in your head. And now you understand what's happening with the situation instead of me. And Nola said this is one of my strengths, to take this very high level information and then be the conduit and pass it along to you so you can actually get it and apply it. Okay. Okay. And then Regina, the best educators will do that and enjoy the discovery process with the student. Yes, and that's win-win. That is win-win. And I agree 100%. So the fact that you're saying that, Lola, tells me that it's working. And then y'all know me, I done threw another dog on because I'm always challenging myself. I'm like, oh, well, let me see if I could tell people without us both being physically present. And I can't see them. So I'm looking at me right now and the comments and this brain background. So let me see how good of an educator I am. Can y'all get it without ever talking to me? Can y'all get it without ever talking to me? Okay, take 10. If you're going to stay, you can stop dropping F-bombs, okay? You can stop and listen. Listen and learn, okay? Stop typing. Sabrina, you said no? No to what? You driving? I thought you was driving. How you typing? You better not be driving right now. You better be at work. Okay. So number 4, action visualization. So you're going to activate your basal ganglia. And why are you going to do that? Because it trains the brain's action centers before real world follow through. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, give me 1 more second. Okay. So it actually trains the brain to get ready because remember, that's the habit center. So what happens is, this is the how. I am voice to text, need to talk to you for clarity. We can't completely learn without asking you questions. Right. You do need to ask questions, but the whole point is to, can it be done without me physically seeing you? That's what I'm saying, without us both being there, because people have said, oh, I can't learn this way. I need to physically be present. And so I'm saying you actually don't need to be physically present. You can't ask questions. It's a back and forth communication, because I used to do Zoom calls. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. So action visualization, activate the basal ganglia. Okay. Time out. So take 10, how? As you appear to have a problem with the education system in which you participated in. And so now you are saying that you are a janitor. So is that on you, or is that on the school system that you are now a janitor? First of all, being a janitor is noble work. That's number one, because every place that is clean is from a person that is actually taking the time to do a good job. So dirty hands, clean money. I work with my daughter every day in a very physical business, and I vacuum the floor. I cut trash boxes up, take things to the trash. I've even had to jump in dumpsters to get manuals out and check boxes and everything. And so I wipe drywall off the floor and off the window pane. And so even though I have 23 years worth of education, my hands still get dirty 6 days out of a 7-day work week. So over here, we are very much responsible and accountable for all that we do and all that we fail to do. So as you say, fuck math, fuck the education system and everything else, you could potentially be upset with the teachers who didn't educate you. But I would venture to say that you are over 18 years old, because you can't be under 18 years old. And now as an adult, you're saying that you're a janitor. So is that on you, or is that on them? So you got two options, because you're just being combative. And so you can stay and learn how to use your brain, because that was then and this is now. So you can use your brain and your 86 billion neurons to create new neural pathways to be in a different position, or you can get blocked. Because what you're not going to do is come and do the dump and run in my life. When I didn't teach you math, I didn't educate you. I am attempting to educate adults now, because it doesn't really matter what the school system did. At this point, you now know that you have 86 billion neurons and you can create unlimited neural pathways and put yourself in a different position. That's what you can do. Okay. All in one's perspective, some people can't obtain jobs now. And I understand all of that. And I feel like we're being sidetracked right now. I feel like we're being sidetracked. So my point is, I'm going to go back to what I was saying. Because the unaccountable person has entered the chat. An unaccountable person with the hijacked amygdala has attempted to not take complete responsibility for where they are in life and have blamed the system that is disadvantaging everybody. No one's really benefiting from the system because it isn't beneficial. It all needs to be dismantled and built again in a new way, a new emerging way. So that's what I will say. And I will say that tough times don't last, but tough people do. And so while it appears that those things could potentially be true for people, Jim Rohn says that you will find a way or you will find an excuse. And that's how it happens. And so this whole notion of there aren't jobs available and there are, all of that is true. And when you sit down and really look at and say, okay, so how can I handle the current situation that I'm in? There were people who made millions of dollars during the Depression. So when a system isn't working anymore, you have to decide how you are going to work in a new system, create a new system, or say, how can I change my situation? That's how it's going to work. So I was about to die at my corporate job. I could have continued to blame Carrie Shields. I could have gotten on prescription drugs and took the stress medication and stayed there and got medicated. I'm the one who walked away from a 6-figure job and decided to do something different. I had to do that. So sometimes things are not available because higher power, God, and universe are saying you shouldn't be over there. You don't need to be doing that. And if you sit and listen, you will actually hear what it is that you are supposed to be doing. And then before we get into it, but it's hard out here and we need to get rid of billionaires and all of that. My goal in life is to teach adults how to use their brain, because the whole entire system was built with negativity bias. The whole entire system was built with unaccountable people and biases and isms. So it was never meant for anybody to succeed, because the mud seal for adult life globally is built on negativity bias. It's a neurological pathway that exists that needs to be pruned. That is my objective. Because to say there needs to be more jobs available, people still hate their jobs. There are people making hundreds of thousands, and there are athletes making hundreds of millions of dollars, and they still hate their jobs. So the paycheck isn't fixing it, because it was still built, because the person that's paying them $100 million is making billions of dollars. So they're not happy either. So the whole entire infrastructure needs to be dismantled. And that is my objective. Because to say the billionaires need to stop being billionaires, that doesn't matter. If you got a corner office, I hated my corporate job. Doesn't matter how much I was being paid and the benefits and everything else. Chips on the truck was boring as hell. It was stupid, and they made it seem like it was rocket science. So that's not the issue. The actual issue is adults, the 6.8 billion adults globally, who wake up every day hardwired for negativity. They are not seeking best. They are not saying what is the best way to educate the next generation. They are not saying what's the best way to run a small business, a mid-sized business, a corporation, a government, a military, a patriarchy, or a kingdom, or anything else. They are using the 7-Eleven amygdala when they need to be using the Costco brain. So that is the actual, if we're going to get to the root cause of what's fucking up the world, it's adults and their hardwired negativity bias brain. And so my objective for day in, day out, y'all picking out symptoms, I got to the root cause of the problem. That's a symptom, not having good education. That's a symptom, not having good jobs, not having health care. Those are symptoms, all leading back to negativity bias because the people making those decisions are in a fight or flight mode. They're saying, I got to protect mine. 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 I've said this. Humans are now the saber-toothed tigers. And so the only way to eradicate this is for all adults, 18 and above, using their brain as it was designed to be used and stop addressing symptoms because the root cause is negativity bias that's been passed down for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. When every adult wakes up, just like Lola said, I can learn this, I can use my brain, I can make different decisions. Because of the limitations of the powers that be, it's not enough positions available, work that people actually want to do because they can't think past their own lack of a strong working memory that's growing every single day. That is the issue. So yes, does the job market suck? Yep. Does the school system suck? Yep. Does being a millionaire suck because you got to pay more taxes? Yes. Does being poor suck? Yeah, it all fucking sucks because everybody is negative. Everybody's working memory is unemployed. So that's that. So I will not be addressing symptoms of one particular thing, one gender, one ethnicity, one world, one whatever. All adults are the same. My daughter has almost 2,300 appointments. We have been around people from all different continents, all different backgrounds, religious preference, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, everything else. At the end of the day, people are people and people are not using their brains because we did not teach people how to use their brains. And until you learn how to use your brain, some of the things that I say aren't going to make sense to you. So, but. And when you start wiring your brain to neuropability, you're going to see that I'm a genius. Okay. Okay. How you going to teach me in the country which surviving is winning? Your brain therapy can work in America, but not in Africa. Everybody has a brain, and you have. I'm not going to continue to go back and forth with you because clearly you can't hear what I'm saying. I'm going to explain to you briefly why you can't hear what I'm saying if you're still here. You can't hear what I'm saying because of confirmation bias and conformity bias. So write that down and go research that. Confirmation bias and conformity bias. And because of your negativity bias, which is your biggest hardwired neural pathway in your brain, it wouldn't matter what I said to you because you believe what you believe and you got to stand on it. And right now you feel like your amygdala right there is being hijacked. So you're experiencing fight from what you believe is a hijacked amygdala. So I'm explaining to you neurologically why you can't hear me and understand me, and you're 10 toes down on telling me I'm incorrect. What you can do is you can come back and you can start doing what I'm saying do. Let's run a 30-day experiment. How about that? How about you attend my lives for 30 days and then we can have this discussion on July 25th because they're 26, somewhere around there. So why don't you do what I'm saying for 30 days before you tell me I'm wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about? Because you just got here. You came looking for a problem and I'm giving you a solution and you can't hear it because you do not have the neural pathways to listen to what I'm saying. So if you want to prove me wrong, I'm here every day at 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That means you're ahead of me if you're in Africa because I had a student in Kenya. So I already did this with somebody on your continent. So that's number one. Number two, prove me wrong. Now I'm going to move on. So you can come back tomorrow for the next 30 days. You can say, I'm here, I'm checking in, and one of us is right. And I'm going to say the person with the brain t-shirt on is absolutely correct. So number 4 is action visualization. I'm not going to go back and forth with you anymore. Okay. I got to finish doing what I'm doing. Action visualization is activating the basal ganglia. Why would you do that? Because it trains the brain's action centers before real world follow through. So number 1, you're going to visualize yourself going for it, seeing, hearing, and feeling success. Number 2, you're going to include the sensory details. So your heart racing, it beating steady, or the environment around you. And then number 3, do this before high stakes events, presentation, pitches, opportunities, in my case, daily lives. You got to do it every day. All right. I visualize myself having an unaccountable, people free, troll free life And it rarely happens, but we hear it. And then I'm going to go, oh, my heart is beating. Whoo, I'm having a hot flash. Ooh, I want to pop. Okay, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to, that's why I have a doggone notes and everything to keep me on. It's not going to show because I got on a white shirt. To keep me on track. Keep me on track. And then number 5 is institution strengthening. And this is going to tap into your insula. And my insula is not on there today. Okay, intuition strengthening. Tap into the insula. And why would you do this? Nola, I'm glad you asked. It strengthens your gut feelings that guide bold actions. How? Number 1, you're going to do a body scan. So meditation increases awareness and internal signals. Number 2, you're going to reflect on past moments you just knew and took successful action. So I just knew 600 days ago, I needed to do this. I just knew 15 years ago, I'm gonna walk away from this corporate job. Something better is on the horizon in life. There has to be more to life than chips on a truck. And then number 3, write down your instinctive responses before analyzing decisions. So you're just gonna say, okay, let's see what's happening. And instinctively write down what's happening and then start analyzing your decisions. And you can even keep track of it to see if your gut was right. Guts don't lie, but people do. So again, the activities for your brain-based activities to strengthen your confidence in being able to go for it. Number 1, you're going to do your dopamine priming routine. Number 2, you're going to do amygdala desensitization. Number 3, you're going to do decision-making drills. Number 4, you're going to do action visualization. And number 5, you're going to do intuition strengthening. Now, what questions do you have before I finish with the advanced routine that you can do in 10 minutes? And what's interesting is that you are telling me as if you don't know my background. You don't know whether I have had food, whether I have had shelter, whether I have had hot water, or any of my whether I've had or not. Okay? So you are looking at my now and you are assessing what you believe is a pretentious, overly educated, confident African-American woman, but you don't know that I grew up in the hood too. You don't know that I grew up in a house with 3 forks and 4 people. You don't know that we didn't have a hot water heater for 4 months from October to February in Michigan. So I know what it feels like to boil water to wash my ass. I didn't have food too when I was in college. I ate trick cereal to the point where rubbed the roof of my mouth raw while I had 18 credits and I had to finish college in 4 years because that's the only thing that my scholarship paid for. I have had negative 35 cents in the bank and run out of money before the month and had to figure shit out. So what you're not going to do is my hardness and my trials and tribulations different than yours. I've had to change an open abdominal wound twice a day for 6 weeks with no pain medication because my drug addict mother took my pain pills. I had to rappel out of a helicopter with no skin on my hands and then do a 12-mile road march in full gear in less than 3 hours and then spend 3 weeks taking a shower in yellow doggone dishwashing gloves. And I still have nerve damage in my hands. So don't try to trauma compare to me. My trauma is different than your trauma, and trauma is trauma nevertheless. So again, like I said, obviously you have an internet connection and you also have access to a device. So the situation can't be that bad because here you are on the internet in another country connected to me, telling me what I don't understand. Perhaps you should Google me. Perhaps you should research me before you continue with these antics, and you are 1000% incorrect. 1000%, because what you are doing is using somatic markers, which is also located in your brain in the hippocampus. And you think you see something that you actually do not see. You are 1000% wrong about the person that is taking time out of their life to attempt to educate you. So perhaps as an educator, maybe your teachers were attempting to educate you and maybe you weren't listening. because you're not listening to me. You have not once taken personal responsibility for anything that you've typed today. Not one. Nothing is on you. That's the problem. You is your problem. I gave you an option to be open to what I'm saying. So in 30 days, we can have a different conversation to see which one of us is correct. And your unwillingness to listen, and listen is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Listen to comprehend. And all you're doing is letting me speak, and then you're typing, you're waiting on a rebuttal. Hijack the amygdala. Fight, flight, freeze, appease. You want to be right in this situation. I'm changing your narrative, and I'm telling you you're incorrect. And you don't want to hear that. But it's the truth. Be honest is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, and lead by example. So I'm following what I'm teaching, 10 toes down, 100%. So you might be able to do that hustling shit with somebody else, that victimization shit, but that don't work on me. Okay? I'm old school. Don't let the lack of wrinkles fool you. Now, advanced routine. Go for it. This is a 10-minute circuit. Number one, you're going to use, so it's an advanced daily routine to go for it. It's a 10-minute circuit. Number one, for 2 minutes of deep breathing, for 2 minutes, you're going to do deep breathing to calm down your fear. So you're going to calm down your amygdala. Number two, 3 minutes of visualizing bold actions with reward imagery. So you're going to use the nucleus accumbens plus the basal ganglia. So 3 minutes of visualizing. I visualize a day when I have lives and everybody on the lives are personally accountable, and we do nothing but talk about the best and the benefits and all that neuromobility has to offer. Number three, a quick decision drill. So you're going to commit to one bold micro action for the day, and that's going to activate your PFC and your ACC activation. So just one bold micro action. Boom. I'm going to put on a red shirt. I'll never wear a red shirt. I'm going to put on a red shirt. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go ahead and put on a printed shirt. I'm going to go ahead and eat something. Me eating that brain bowl from Rubio's the other day. Bam. Just go for it. And then number six is you're going to celebrate after completing the action to lock in the dopamine empowerment. So after you get it done, you're going to say, hey, I did that. Woo, go ahead, Doc. Who the shit? You the shit. And you're going to celebrate, and then dopamine is going to be released and say, hey, let's do that again. Let's go for it again. Let's take a risk again. Let's do that again. All right. Now, working, if you need me to repeat that, let me know. If not, we're going to go into the working memory because it's already 6:37 and we got to leave at 7:40 to get to this appointment where we got 20 chairs to put together. So working memory, and I will explain how this goes. I'm going to give you four numbers. I'm going to give you four numbers. I'm going to give you four numbers. And you're going to add the number 3 to each individual number. And then you're going to type that number, that answer backwards. Four numbers, you're going to add 3 to each individual number, and then you're going to type in that number backwards. I'm going to say the four numbers 3 times. So here we go. 6052, 6052, 6052. Go ahead. Yeah, I like my new method better. Lola said, I learned my brain is the most important thing in the world to get knowledge on, and I'm so overwhelmed with joy. Exactly. It is. And that's the whole point. Is for you to actually, and thank you for that follow-up, Lola, because that's the objective. Oh, my nose. We're about to be in a dusty warehouse too. Nola, do you have your number? Six zero 6052. turn my fan on. Oh. Hopefully y'all didn't see I got shorts on. It's all good. Okay. That is correct. And boy, this new fan for my hot flashes. 5839. That is correct. Okay. Go ahead and type what you learned today and what you learned about yourself. What did you learn today and what did you learn about yourself? So you had to switch. I understand. And while you're typing, here's what I'm going to say. We had 2 different examples today of unaccountable people. Other people went on there. I just deleted their dumb shit and moved on because it was just stupid. You already did? I didn't see it. It didn't pop up, Nola. Type it again because it didn't pop up. So here's what I will say. Tamala Mann, I use her quote often. Well, not often enough. Y'all looking at my now, but you don't know my when. And this is for people on the replay, not the people who attend on a regular basis, not the people who are in challenges, not the people who are holding themselves personally accountable, but you looky-loos. You looks and likes, folks. I'm the baddest motherfucker walking the face of the planet Earth. Okay? Let's be clear about who is the genius around here. It's me. Because I am the one who has spent 12 years studying actual human behavior in real life. Not in some fucking lab somewhere with some university, some government agencies, some corporations backing my research, but me down here, boots on the ground, day in and day out for 12 motherfucking years. And so what we're not going to do is come over here and tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because if I don't know, who does? Please direct me to them. Day-to-day life. Day-to-day life. Day-to-day. Not some bullshit. Not how to get promoted at fucking work. Not how to make sure you have smart children. I did that. My child is a genius too. Bad too. Okay? Tree fruit. We're not going to tell Dr. Donna that I don't know, that I haven't taken painstaking detail to see what the problem actually is with the adult global population. That's what I'm looking at. Independent. I don't care about sexual orientation. I don't care about religious preferences. None of that. We had an agnostic go through challenges. Okay. So that's not it for me. I am sick of being on the receiving end of unaccountable people's behavior and them not doing a damn thing about it. And now I know why it's occurring, because of negativity bias. And I know that neuroprobability and neuroplasticity makes it, as Lola has said, when you find out how to use your brain, you a bad mofo too. That's why I'm the baddest motherfucker walking the face of the planet Earth, because I actually know how to use my brain to become my best and teach everybody else how to do the same thing. So you ain't putting me up against nobody. I am. That I say I am because I am. Okay? So we're not about to do that. You're not going to come in my space and tell me what's wrong with the world. And then I tell you the solution and I tell you do what I'm saying for 30 days, because chicken shit motherfuckers can't do this. It's easier to sit in your comfort zone right in the 7-Eleven parking lot and blame everybody else. That shit's easy. What I'm saying takes effort to learn how to use the rest of this. You already came here knowing how to live in a hijacked amygdala ass life. That's easy. That's like fucking peeing and breathing. Ain't shit to it but to do it. What I'm saying takes active thought. What I'm saying takes a leap of faith. Just like I took a leap of faith 15 fucking years ago and walked away from the fucking plantation called Frito-Lay. So what we will not be doing on this live is telling me I'm not right. That's what we're not going to do. When I spent painstaking 12 years seeing how can we have better humanity without all this global warming and all this other shit. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. No, it's you. Fix you first. It fixes a lot. Fix you. Learn how to use your brain. Everything's going to change. So everything that we are experiencing in our day-to-day lives is based upon people with negativity bias, hijacked amygdalas, isms, and biases running shit. And you trying to figure out how. The amygdala is the emotion center. And that's why it doesn't make sense. That's why no matter what you do, it doesn't work, because the amygdala cannot make rational decisions. It cannot do it. It has to happen in the prefrontal cortex. That is the only way you get in rational thought. That's where your working memory, your executive function, your cognition, your problem solving, your decision making happens there. So if you start in the amygdala and you start making decisions, you end up with fucked up results. That's why the world is fucked up. In order for that to change, every individual adult on the planet Earth has to learn how to use their brain. Don't that make so much more sense? Don't that make so much more sense? Why people hate people? Why people do this? Why people do that? People are making decisions for their own best interest. Comfort. I'm going to make a decision that works best for me and my hijacked amygdala. I don't give a fuck what it does to you. If it negatively impacts me, I'm making the decision that's going to make my shit it better. That's what everybody is doing. That's why it doesn't make, if you're not part of that group and that decision making process, you ain't going to be part of the group. And yeah, you're going to feel left out. Of course you are, but not over here. I'm telling you how to use your brain so in your life, in your community, you can change your situation so your day-to-day is best. No one else on the face of the planet Earth is doing that. Why? Hijacked amygdala and negativity bias. Their brain doesn't possess the neural pathways to get it done. It doesn't. Okay? So we're not going to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. And I think it's fucking interesting. Every time I tell somebody, do something about it. Prove me wrong. Motherfucker ain't stepped up to the challenge yet. Not one motherfucker. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Do a 30-day challenge and tell me you don't feel different up here. You do a 30-day PA challenge. Yeah, that shit don't work. That don't work at all. If it didn't work, you didn't do it right. Because the people who did it right, it's writing like a motherfucker. Lola is doing a bunch of shit. She fucking typing on the live. When she started, she couldn't figure out none of this shit. She reading every day, checking family members and everything else, swimming on a boat and all of that. And she is over 60. She a boomer. Okay? So if she doing it, it must work. It must work. Okay? Anyway, so I will not be told I don't know what I'm talking about somebody who can't even hear me and do what I'm saying do. Listen on the live. I ain't say pay me some money. I ain't say get in a 30-day challenge. I said come to the live for 30 days. Why? Because it takes 21 days for the basal ganglia to say, yep, this is a habit. And the other 9 days is submitting that end. That's what's happening. That's what's taking place. What did y'all learn today? Don't fucking tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Kevin, today, music and movement is a great action before making a big decision. Yeah, throw on your favorite song and dance and roll out. Nola, that was to car insurance. That was a text message that popped up. If I had already did something on the live, I was typed it on the live. Okay. I learned about myself to not put limits on myself. Again, I learned that the amygdala is involved every time, all the time, all the time. Kevin, myself, I learned to celebrate small wins. Since doing so, my life has been better. No, Regina said, it was good to learn which part of the brain helps to activate a self-accomplishment goals. Learn what keeps the person from achieving and going for it in terms of life. And Lola said, we agreed with a third grade education, and Dr. Donna is able to teach me. I thought I was okay because I only knew how to build houses for 46 years, and I'm doing a lot more. Thanks. See, there you go. Third grade education, and now she's doing a lot more. Don't tell me that this ain't been anointed and appointed by a higher power, God, and the universe. And so we will not. Today, while listening, I was distracted by my immediate family and decided not to become upset. These distractions were really annoying, but I decided to stay in my PFC in order to learn today. And there you go. So you decided, and what happened is, Regina, you were using cognitive flexibility. So you were tuning out them, as we talked about yesterday, and you were paying attention to just what was happening. So you focused in on this one sound, which was the sound of my voice. So that is using your executive function of your brain and cognitive flexibility, and also your working memory to get this information in. Okay, so as we can see, ladies and gentlemen, the person from Africa is no longer here, or if they are, they too chicken shit to respond. But what you need to take away is when you get enough neuropability inside of you, motherfuckers ain't gonna be able to tell you nothing. And I'm saying motherfuckers on purpose. I mean that with all of the fiber of my being. Because what I am not going to tolerate anymore is a bunch of motherfucking excuses. At no point did that person take a responsibility or accountability for shit that happened in their life. Credit and blame. Credit and blame is what unaccountable people do because it goes against their conformity bias and their confirmation bias. So you didn't really want to change because when you want to change, you open. You listening to something different because the definition of insanity is doing the same fucking thing over and over again and then expecting a different damn result. And it's not going to happen. And so the amount of intensity of my profanity is because people telling me I don't know what I'm talking about ain't never going to fly with me. Never going to fly with me. 12 years of my life, I have been determined to understand why aren't people at their best. And on day 600, Lola is saying, I had a third grade education. I thought all I could do was build houses. And now I'm over here reading, writing, and arithmetic in my 60s. What the what? You gonna tell me the brain ain't plastic? First of all, her working memory was supposed to stop working at 35. Her working memory is supposed to be unemployed for 30 years. And it's over here working like nobody's business. That's the ability of the brain. The research used to say that older people don't have new neural pathways. They can't create new neurons and neurogenesis is not possible. And we see right here, we are witnessing that it actually is possible. It 100% is possible. I'm correct. I'm right. And I will not fight somebody when I'm correct. I will not be told, that's not, but see, you don't know what the problem is. And you without seeking first to understand. Because one of the 74 principles of real leadership is if you don't know, ask. That person that asked no questions made a bunch of blanket statements. That's why I punched them in their head virtually with knowledge and information and wisdom. I planted seeds and hopefully one plants, one waters, a higher power God in the universe gives the increase. Because unaccountable people for too long have been able to hide behind their excuses and their excuse wall and their comfort cocoon and make it seem like it's everybody else's fault but their own. You got a brain, you got access to the internet and a phone bill, and you on here talking about people ain't got water and clean food or something. You got it. You got that shit. So see how when you logical, it don't make no sense to them and they're illogical, so it don't make no sense to me. That's a perfect example of what's taking place when you're sitting around unaccountable people and their whole goal is to hijack your amygdala. And as Regina said, it didn't work. It didn't work. So that's what you extrapolate from that information. The more real leadership and neuropability and functionality of your brain you have, the less successful unaccountable people are. That is the only way that this gets eradicated. That is the only way it stops. It ain't fucking global warming. It ain't end wars. It ain't fucking mental illness. It's not, mental health. And all. It's unaccountable adults not knowing how to use their brain, living in the 7-Eleven parking lot with a hijacked amygdala, making daily decisions, fucking the world up. That is what it actually is. And it's an individual choice to free will in order for people to stop, because it's harder. It's easy to wake up and stay in your comfort zone and blame everybody else. That's breathing. It's way more challenging, and challenge yourself is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, to learn how to use your own damn brain. Today while listening, I saw that. I thought you had something else. Okay, so in summary, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking the time out to expand and explore your mind and the functionality of your brain and understand what going forward actually can do for you, and to see, and I forgot, let me move all the way out the way so that y'all can see the whole entire graphic. So I think that's super cool that that's what showed up today. All right. We got to get out of here. I got an appointment. My doggone chair. These rollerblade wheels is messing up. So God, higher power in the universe. I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, safe space. Unless you're unaccountable, then you get what you get. Yes. And Lola is on a boat with 200 people and still can focus. First of all, Lola's on a boat with 200 people. That's number one. Talk about take a risk and challenge yourself. Okay? Yes, and swimming upstream and everything else, and still has the ability to focus, which was something that was not possible 6 months ago in January when you showed up on the Real Leader scene. So that's what this is about, ladies and gentlemen. You are all doing phenomenal work because you are taking charge of your brain and you are experiencing things that you never thought were possible in your life. That's my objective. So we can actually change the world while all of us is still here and plant seeds for trees that we will never sit under the shade. I fucked that up because I'm a little hungry right now and I'm perimenopausal. Okay, so you all go off and have a great day. God willing, higher power in the universe. I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. Have a brain-tastic day. Take care.